This right here is actually a thing. This describes, or this shows what we are dealing with here in America. The shirt says, yes, and this is a shirt that people can order. It says, I'd rather be a Russian than a Democrat. We have people here in America who only want to have their way of life that only benefits them and no one else. We have a group of people, no need of saying who they are, who do not want to be held accountable for the evil actions that they wish to perform on people who do not look like them. They never cared anything about this country. As a matter of fact, their ancestors, many of their ancestors came over here to destroy what this country was. And they have been working the whole time in secrecy and in front of us, trying to destroy this country so they can bring about their own so-called utopia. A utopia that's not going to benefit them financially. This is going to be a utopia that's just going to make them able to be as evil as they want to be. Now again, let's look at this statement. I'd rather be a Russian than a Democrat. Now, the situation at hand, it just got turned down for the Nobel Peace Prize. The guy who runs this place right here, he came out with the illusionist story. Oh, he got robbed. He should have had this. He's one of the greatest people in the world, pumping up the situation at hand over here who has power that it shouldn't have. Why would it do that? Because it knows that it can manipulate our situation at hand and it can bully it. And not only that, it knows that our situation at hand will react like a baby and begin to dismantle this place that we call America even more. Setting up space for this. Those people who wear those red hats, this proves that they are a problem because this is their mentality. If this place is ever taken back and it becomes America again, those things have to go. Do you realize this? Because all they're going to do is just sit back, go back into their little sleeper cells and work within again, and then they're going to try to take over this country again. We're worried about civil war when we are actually in a world war. And they're trying to dominate America. Do you see how the place that the situation at hand once called the threat, you know, sounds like a guitar, how they are allowed to have a military Air Force base in America? Not saying that that they're going to get this off, but do you see what's going on? The situation at hand here in America is like, you know what, if I can't get the military to do exactly what it wants to do, I should have my own people who will be sympathetic toward me and who are working over here so I can get them to strike key places here in America. I'm talking about dropping and hit key spaces here in America. Give up all of our defenses. Because I'm telling you, that thing, the situation at hand, it only cares about not making sure it goes to jail for all the crimes that it has committed. It hates America and the American people because it feels that the American people turned their backs on him and he let them down. That's why he didn't do anything when January 6th was happening. Because he wanted that to happen. Because he doesn't like America. But it's not just him that doesn't like America. It's these doggone red hats who think like this. They are an absolute threat. And there is so much I would like to really say, man, but man, it's a strange time. I didn't say anyone's names, but you can see through the smog. Anyone who you see, who you suspect to be one of those red hats, I want you to know when you see them, what you are looking at is this right here in disguise. And they go around and they're using the word patriot. But you don't have to be a patriot to America, obviously. Like we said, there's approximately 300 million people in America who have the ability to vote. Only 200 million participated in the voting process, approximately. That's how this guy won by a so-called landslide. A little over 2 million people. And they call this a landslide. But when it comes to dealing with these Russians that we have here in this country, and I know, and I'm pleased, no, I take that back. I'm not going to the Russians that live here in the United States. You're more American than those red hats. And don't forget that. Man, that's a shame. But anyway, they know for a fact that this number of people right here, they didn't participate in the voting process. But a lot of them, they were kind of, And they're saying that this isn't really working out for this place that we call America. And they're like, you know what? Because a lot of them, they're like, you know what? I don't really want to vote for him, but I'd rather him win over her. So I'm just not going to vote at all. I'm going to let the other American people make the decision. But then now they're looking at, you know what? This right here, this guy is selling the country out completely. And he's draining whatever resources he can get out of the doggone country. So a lot of these people right here who didn't vote, the ones who decide to vote, they're going to vote this way. And a lot of these people over here in the red, half of them are not going to vote. This number for 77 million is probably down to about 30-something million people. What does that mean? We got approximately 30-something million people who need to be deported. So I say when this ICE thing is all over with, we need to continue the ICE and go. And since you guys already tapped into the system, okay, so we're going to tap into the system. We're going to see who voted what. We're going to look at everybody's profile. We're going to see everybody who had that MAGA stuff. We're going to look at all of that. Then we're going to stick ICE on you. And then when we get done with them, then we're going to kick ICE up out of here. I'm just making up a story, man. Hey, none of this stuff I'm talking about is real. I'm just making up stuff and just having a conversation. And this is just for entertainment purposes only. I just want to get a laugh out of everyone. Oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive.